going on? Welcome back to Just Grow with the Flow. Today I want to show you guys the garden. The last video we posted, we only have the pots with tomatoes and peppers, but finally it's starting to look like a garden, guys. So just come along and I'll show you. It's looking so far. Last video we only had this row of tomatoes and the row of peppers on the side. We have added quite a few things. We have these two beds. What I did with these black containers, they're like storage containers. I bought them at Home Depot. And what we did, we drill holes on the sides and the bottom, and then use the lid to put the container on top. That way any water that leaks out of the bed will capture and it can be reused, and it will kind of be like a bottom water for the bed. I mean, we will still have to water it, but we're not wasting that water. It just collect. I'll show you. You see that water is collecting there. We have to keep an eye that it doesn't stay there for too long and drain well. So if it gets to a point that it's not absorbing, then we'll empty it. But if you guys see here, it has holes. We drill holes on the sides and the bottom, which you can see, and then fill it up with dirt and planted some things in it. These first two beds have climbing beans on the sides. These are cowpeas. These are long beans. These do really well in the hot weather, so we're hoping they do great. Then on this side we did amaranth. If you guys can see here, this is amaranth, and they germinated with direct soil. This and then in the corners here, there's a butternut squash. These are the beans. I'll give you a little close up. And then on this side the same. These are long beans. And I did amaranth here too. Only one germinated so far. We had a little situation here, just a little only one right there. My dog got in this bed and started digging, so some of the beans got destroyed and have not germinated yet. We also have a zucchini in here. It's a yellow zucchini that I don't know if it's gonna germinate. I see the seed right here, but it's not showing signs of life. But I'm gonna cover it a little bit. The plan with these two containers, these two beds, is that I'm going to build an arch trellis that's gonna go from here, arch, to here, and these climbing beans are gonna climb up the trellis, and hopefully it will look really nice, like an entrance to the garden here, full of beans. Amaranth grows really well in the desert. You plant it and you harvest. It's like a grain, almost like quinoa. You harvest the grain. I don't know if we're gonna have enough of the plant to harvest enough grain to eat, but it's a beautiful plant. Also attracts pollinators, and it'll just look really pretty. So sometimes we have to give a little bit of space in the garden for aesthetics, and so when you look at the garden, it looks also pretty. So that's the plan. We have here a little container, middle here. Shout out to our good friends that kindly gifted us these containers and a bunch of the containers around here. We really greatly appreciate it. In this first container here, we have this little plants right here all around. Our borage. Borage, it's a plant that grows a purple flower that you can eat. It tastes like cucumber. We really never eaten it. I mean, we tasted them, but we haven't incorporated it in any of our dishes. They grow great and they spread all over, and they attract pollinators because of the purple flower. The bees love purple, so anything purple flower, the bees are gonna be all over it, and you want bees in your garden because they help the pollination. So hopefully this will grow well, and our plan is that they will grow out, and it's gonna be a huge borage world around here. And then in the middle, these are sunflowers. I might have to trim this because this is a pretty small pot to grow all these flowers, but high intensity planting sometimes work. I mean, most times it works, usually when you do it in beds. So in containers can be trickier because of the nutrients that you want to provide for the plants. You don't want to overcrowd a container and then not have enough nutrients to feed the plant. So we'll see. If I feel that it's too much and the plants are not doing good, I'll just take a few out, thin it, make sure I fertilize it. Here we have these 4 containers have cucumbers. These are the only ones that have completely sprouted. They're doing pretty good. Again, I might have to trim this and just leave one of them because they can start competing for nutrients and water. I usually plant 2 seeds when I want one to germinate, because you always want the chance. If you only do one and it doesn't germinate, then you don't have a plant. So you do 2, you have 50-50 chance, and if it needed to be thin, you just take one out, try to transplant it. Cucumbers don't like to be transplanted and messed up with the roots, so I might not be able to transplant it somewhere else, but I usually try. So, but all these containers have cucumbers. This one is starting to germinate right here with a baby. Same here and here. That one is doing good. My plan here is to build a trellis. I bought these stakes, and I'm gonna put 2 stakes on each of these pots, like on the corners, like facing to the middle. And then I'm gonna go ahead and tie them here and put twine around it so the cucumbers can climb. Cucumbers are climbing plants also, so if you give them something to climb onto, they grow vertically, and I'm hoping it looks really nice with all the cucumbers up here. So that's the plan. This bed right here have onion transplants. All these onions, we started them inside earlier in the season. We saw really heavy in one of the cells that we start seeds on, and then we divide this and plant them in the little lines. Then this right here, it's a zucchini that I planted in the green stock. Again, I do 2 seeds, and usually if they both germinate, I take one out. Like I said, cucumbers and zucchinis don't like to be messed with the roots. So I went ahead and transplanted it here, and I was honestly expecting not to do well, but it's doing pretty good. It's a true leaf. Another true leaf is forming here, and it's actually doing really good. So I'm hoping that it stays doing well. Then right here, I have, these are sunflowers. So is this. These were all direct sowing here. And then these little baby plants. These are carrots, guys. Planted carrots, and they are doing pretty good. Carrot seeds take a little more dedication to be able to germinate, but it's worth it. There's nothing better than going in your backyard and pulling carrots and cook with them. They taste delicious, and it's just such a satisfying feeling, you know. So it's worth the little bit of extra work. I also planted some melon seeds that have not germinated yet. I have lemon drop and a Hawaiian melon. These are like personal size melons. They do grow like 5-inch diameter or less than that. So they're really good for smaller spaces. And our plan is that since watermelons and cantaloupe are vining plants, that they will germinate and then the plant will spread out to the floor. So that's our plan. Tomatoes are doing pretty good. When I just planted them, the leaves were a little yellowish, but I've been fertilizing and make sure they're well watered, and finally the leaves are starting to look a lot healthier. I also got this basil from the supermarket. When you buy basil at the supermarket, they have a pot with a bunch of plants. So I went ahead and used what we needed for what we're cooking, and I separated the rest and planted it with the tomato. They're a little sad, but they're basically free seedlings. So I'm gonna see if they work. I mean, I have a lot of basil that I planted inside that's been ready to pot and eventually plant out here. But yeah, like you see, I have a few plants of basil with the tomatoes. Why do I plant the basil with the tomato? That's called companion planting. The basil help deter pests that could possibly affect your tomatoes. There are different plants that could be used with the same purpose. Basil, flowers. I have down here. These are marigolds that I started inside earlier. I have 3 of them that survived, so I went ahead and companion planted with this tomatoes. Help maximize the space and also give your plants a better chance to grow healthier by companion planting with something that will help the plant. Peppers are doing okay. They're not doing as good as I would like to because it's not as hot as they would like to. But we'll see. Once it starts getting hotter, this will probably start growing a lot better. We have herbs. We've been picking from this to cook. Then we have here the green stalk with the beans. Beans are doing really good. There are beans all over it. Some zucchinis in the bottom. Alright guys, that's gonna be it for today. I just wanted to give you guys a short little tour of how the garden is shaping up. I know we started from zero. We literally had nothing, and now we have something that resembles a garden, and it just makes us happy that we are able to grow our own food and do what we're passionate about. Stick around if you want to keep following our journey. Soon I'm gonna be posting a few videos building the trellises and setting up this black buckets, and I would love for you guys to join us. So thank you again. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon.